My mother once told me, you're gonna start something, girl. My mother once told me, you're gonna start something, girl. My mother once told me, you're gonna start something, girl. You're gonna make things shake all over this world.
I remember doing a straw poll of people around the office saying, where do you think we should play the final? My boss on the 2015 Cricket World Cup, he said, what are you thinking? And I said, well, SCG Adelaide Oval. And he goes, well, hang on a minute, what about the MCG? I went, MCG? He goes, well, we're thinking big, aren't we? From that moment, it was, well, if the men are playing in the biggest cricket ground available in Australia, then absolutely the best female players should be playing on the same stage. Melbourne refers to itself as the sporting capital of the world. When you go into the MCG with someone from Melbourne, it feels like you're going into their own home. You know, there's this pride, which is, you know, it's quite an intangible thing.
There is a strong sense of arrival when you get to the G. There's something special about walking into it and actually feeling the size and scale of the complex. The MCG is an iconic ground for cricket. It is the Melbourne cricket ground. We've had Ashes, we've had all sorts of international tournaments at the G.
The MCG is a wonderful stage for big moments in this country's history. People remember that 2015 Men's World Cup final as a packed audience and Mitchell Starc's delivery. Everyone sort of refers to that. What we wanted to do was to add in a narrative that this place is for women as well. It was really, really important that we get that message across.
Once we kind of identified the MCG, it got us thinking about, well, actually, what is the biggest crowd? We identified that the current record was 90,185, dating back 20 years.
We just had this enormous opportunity to make a statement for women's sport. Fill the G, that was the theme for the whole pitch.
We did have to convince the players that that was a good idea.
We said, look, we're thinking about playing in the biggest cricket grounds across the country. And really the reception was quite lukewarm.
Most of the room thought it's a great, ambitious goal, but probably never going to happen in their lifetimes.
I just wasn't sure that it was possible. It was so far ahead of what had been achieved before.
I smiled at Nick Hockley and said, oh, amazing, that's a fantastic idea. And in my head, I was like, absolutely no chance. Like, how are you possibly going to do that?
We've done some personality testing before as a group, and 95% of us are skeptics. So you can imagine the reaction in a room full of female athletes who the biggest crowd we've played in front of is, by that point, was probably 5,000. And they're telling us they want to fill the MCG in a World Cup final.
The meeting shifted and we talked about the FIFA Women's World Cup and having Elise Perry in the room and her talking about her reflections of, you know, when she first stepped out and what that meant to her. People started to visualise the possibilities. And I think by the time we left that room, we definitely felt, okay, we've got their backing.
There's no way 2 years out from the tournament I want to say, yeah, I'm so excited to stand on March 8 at the MCG. It's never going to happen.
It's all about setting a new benchmark. So with that in mind, I'm out to break the world record for the highest catch of a cricket ball. So let's go. Yeah! I'm now a world record holder, and you can be too.
Head to T20worldcup.com and get your tickets.
We spoke a lot about it as a group and whether we wanted to embrace it, whether we wanted to say, no, we're not talking about it. We hoped we were going to be there, we were striving to be there, but it was going to be a difficult road to get there. And now here we stand at the MCG, on the cusp of setting a new record for the most attended women's sporting event in the world. The squad we put together was mainly about variety and actually giving us options.
We like to go hard at the start with the Mooney-Healy partnership, and then if we get into trouble, have players like Rachel Haynes, Meg Lanning be able to steady the ship.
Elisa Healy had been such an amazing player for a couple of years now.
Fastest century by an Australian, and she's done it.
She was the opening batter to set the tone for the group.
And there is the world record.
Elise is a big game player, possibly the most professional cricketer I've ever coached.
Elise Perry comes to the crease.
She's young and exciting.
She'll go down as the greatest all-rounder of all time.
Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant by the youngster. Not only is she a talented cricketer, she plays soccer at a high level as well. Let's hope she stays with cricket.
And what is your game? Is it hitting sixes at the MCG down the ground?
Well, I guess that's the plan.
Ash Gardner then could come in and take it on from a really good platform.
Oh, there it is, the sound of ball on roof.
Ash, on behalf of myself, Arnie Fate, Dizzy, our people and the rest of Australia, congratulations on being third Indigenous person and the 174th Test cricketer for Australia.
We spoke a lot about match-ups and matching up with the teams and individuals. That played a really big role in selection. Annabelle Sutherland, the selection of her just gave us something a little bit different. Her bowling was probably the thing we looked at.
I'd literally just woken up, so the news was a bit of a shock and it's still sinking in.
We're incredibly blessed, a lot of left-hand batters as well, which not many other teams have. So we wanted to be really hard to set up against. People know our structure quite well, so we wanted to be adaptable and be able to counter any situation.
That's the key to T20 cricket, is the ability for people to make an impact. Megan shoots. She's just got confidence in her personality, her cricket. She does what she wants to do and she doesn't care what anybody else thinks.
Taylor Blamink's the unique bowler in the world at the moment. She's going to be the fastest bowler, I think, of all time. A lot of our planning was around the role that she was going to play as an enforcer in our group.
Counting down the days to the first game.
We were pretty confident in our game plan and also the fact that we had a lot of depth within the squad.
We knew we wanted some really tough, hard-nosed cricket coming into the World Cup, and to play against England and India in a tri-series got us battle ready.
Oh, that's straight through, and what a ball. She is in good nick, the youngster.
But I do think that it did leave us a little bit vulnerable. It certainly gave other teams an opportunity to have a bit more of a look at us under pressure.
And gone. She's missed out today, Meg Lanning. And is gone. Healy misses out again.
It was the first time people had actually been critical of someone within the team or the team and how we were going, and I don't think I've really experienced that before. It's always been really positive.
Well, that is a horrible start for Elise Healy.
People want you to do well, and when it's not going to plan, people ask questions.
So that's Healy. She's holed out. You can't believe it. And she's gone. Her poor run of form continues.
I'm really pleased to announce Katy Perry's involvement in the final. Katy will perform with her full band a 1-hour post-match show. Get your friends, get your family. Don't be one of those people that were thinking on Monday the 9th, if only we were there.
Such a wonderful period for women's sport, and hopefully that has a lasting effect for a long time to come.
You're the world number ones, we know that. All your family and friends are going to be out there. Are you feeling the expectation of performing well?
I think everyone needs to remember it's not an overnight success. I think I had a full head of hair when I started this job.
The fact that we're at home, I think, is a bonus for us. We're going to try and embrace the excitement around it.
Our main goal is March 8, but we've got a few hurdles to get through first.
I feel a pioneer that I have tried to put women's sport on the map in this country about, and also the world, and all of a sudden the whole country has opened up to women's sport.
The more pressure, the more chance of making diamonds.
Say 2020 has actually arrived after all the planning. Can't believe the tournament's right around the corner.
Everywhere I go, people are talking about the Women's T20 World Cup, and they've all bought their tickets to March 8, which I've never sort of experienced before. And I said, well, we've got to get there first.
It was all about to begin, and there'd been a lot of build-up and talk. And I guess to finally get everyone together and start the actual lead into the tournament was really exciting. Thailand were a great addition to the World Cup. It just shows how far the game's come, and to have a new team in the World Cup for the first time was great for everyone to see.
I think the cricket has something interesting, and I want to know, the girl want to learn about the cricket.
The Australians are obviously favourite to win the tournament.
They are the number one team. We felt like they were our biggest threat.
Australia are always the team that people want to beat.
Sometimes the game can be looked at slightly differently to how it feels on the inside, and I definitely think India's a bit of a sleeping giant. New Zealand have two of the best batters in the world in their lineup, and then you got South Africa, who have some great players, and obviously the English as well, so the gap isn't as big as people think.
Well, I can say every team is equal.
I think India definitely were the threat.
Sinarin, who would you like to play in the final of the World Cup?
I will supporting all the team.
It's not how it works.
I'm on the Thailand bandwagon.
There we go.
Winning this World Cup means a lot to me. I'm dreaming this moment from childhood. If we win, that will be a turning point for us because everybody is waiting for a long time.
We'll be absolutely gutted if we don't make it to the final, being a part of history, and obviously we'd love to be there.
I just want people to come and watch because that will be very good for women's cricket.
It's not about us. It's about all women in sport across the world. You can't quite comprehend, if you've never played it in front of more than 15,000 people, how big 90,000 would be. But I think the goal is incredible, and we want to make it through to the final and make our country proud.
Australia has suffered a bitter blow on the eve of the Women's T20 World Cup, with star quick Taylor Vlaeminck ruled out of the tournament after suffering a stress-related foot injury.
We were all pretty shattered when we found out the news about Tay. We came together as a group, and Modi announced it to the squad that Tay wasn't going to be able to be involved, and yeah, it was a really flat time.
It was incredibly crushing. You just see someone's dream just fall apart in front of them.
A lot of our plans against India were based around Tay. There's no one else in world cricket who bowls like her. She's got extra pace, and we had to change, and we had to rethink what we wanted to do and how we wanted to go about it because our main weapon had been taken away from us.
It just did seem like it was slightly unravelling a little bit at the start of the tournament.
The bowling unit are pretty tight. Our whole team is really tight, but only really bowlers get that it's a batter's game. So, yeah, to have one of us go down was pretty sad. It's never nice losing one of your own.
We definitely had to do some thinking in those couple of days leading in about what our plan Bs and Cs were going to be.
I was at my local coffee shop in Footscray. I saw the selectors' number come up onto my phone. It was a bit of a mixed emotion sort of call, knowing that one of my really good mates in Taylor had suffered a long-term injury. I hadn't played for Australia for 2.5 years, and I just sort of assumed that ship had sailed.
Everyone's really excited about what's to come tomorrow night, and I just think it's going to be a great contest. India are a world-class side, so it's going to be a great game first up.
People have been talking about your form. How have you handled that?
Yeah, I'm okay. Seems to be everybody outside the group are panicking more than us in the group, so hopefully get a little bit of luck come my way and, can put a score on the board and get our team into a good position to win the game.
All right, let's get moving. We're a bit behind here.
The night before the game, I took my kit home from training and went just around the corner, hit for about 2.5 hours with some young boys coming to bowl lots of different spin at me, and including some leg spin. And I guess being comfortable in that environment and sort of enjoying myself, and these young kids aren't talking about me playing in a World Cup. They're just young schoolboys that are coming in and bowling at someone in an Australian helmet, and they want to get you out. And I think that sort of was a nice thing for me before that big opening night.
The day was finally here. We were playing India. There was just this sense of anticipation to get the tournament started.
There'd been such a massive build-up, obviously wanting to play well, and there was a lot of pressure.
We've been talking about it for 18 months. We were seeing all the ads. It was just a genuine level of excitement.
Yes, we cannot wait. It all starts here with four-time T20 champions Australia beginning their title defence against one of the strongest contenders, India. Can they go all the way and lift the trophy for the very first time on Australian soil? Australia versus India, if it doesn't get much better than that.
We played there a couple of weeks earlier on a really nice wicket. They prepared for us, and we get there and it's completely different.
We're hoping for a bit more grass on it.
Just to tell you how things work, there's 2 groups of 5 with the top 2 in each group going through to the semi-finals. Many people have said that Australia have got the tougher group.
It's India and New Zealand. They're the big ones that the Australians are going to have to get through to get to the semi-finals.
In terms of occasions, it feels really special, and I think we're all really excited and really keen to just get it started now.
To Monty and Meg and all the girls, good luck. Represent Australia with pride and go Aussies.
Good luck, go the girls.
I remember getting out there and I just said, holy hell, imagine 100,000 people if this is what 13,000 feels like.
Welcome to the 2020 Women's T20 World Cup.
Proud moment for both teams. The anthems.
Welcome to everyone, wherever you are in the world. Australia won the toss, elected to field first.
They've got some young, fearless players that we'll see at the top of the order for India that are just changing the way in which not just India plays, but the way in which the game is being played. It doesn't get too much better than this. You've got the young 16-year-old, yes, 16 years of age, Shafali Verma, in her first ever World T20.
Got a reputation that I'm gonna keep. Gonna take you high.
Volemic sitting at the back there, just pondering what could have been. Molly Strano flew in yesterday to start off this Women's T20 World Cup.
I thought I would have been more nervous than I was, not meaning to be there, and all of a sudden I had the ball in my hands.
There's Verma, no fear. She goes big, she goes long, she goes straight. She is so exciting to watch.
Nice shot from the 16-year-old.
We bowl a little bit too full to her, and when it's full, she just launches straight into it.
That is sweet, magnificent.
Settle yourselves in, because if this keeps going, you're watching someone at the start of their career that could change the way in which the game is being played.
I just want her to go and enjoy and to play her shots because she can always turn the game for us.
This crowd is loving it. And Shafali Verma on fire.
pressure on the four-time champions Australia.
That is a lovely touch. Shot of the game so far.
Just a reminder, only 2 fielders allowed outside the inner circle to the power play, the first 6 overs of the match.
This is a wonderful start for India. 40 without loss after 4 overs.
The scoreboard was actually broken for the first 4 overs, and I didn't know they were none for 40. So that was probably a blessing in disguise.
She's gone.
She's a throw at it, Elise Perry. The captain of India, Harmanpreet Kaur. Oh, is it? Yes. They're on a roll now, the Australians. India lose their third.
And the biggest. The fight back started. High fives around for Australia. So at the end of the 20 overs, they've restricted India to a score of 132.
We knew they'd come hard in that power play, so we knew we just had to grip on and see how we go.
So many children in here dragging their parents along. That's what happens in T20, isn't it?
Our bowling performance was generally good.
We felt like we would be able to chase that down if we batted to the best of our ability.
You talk about Alyssa Healy and lack of form. 15 runs, I think, in the last 5 or so innings. How does she approach this? How does she do it?
I've prepared as well as I possibly can. I've hit enough balls. All I have to do is just go out there and trust my skills, trust my ability. Elise is just one of those players that you don't want to write off, because you know that when you do, she's probably going to produce something pretty remarkable.
Nice.
She's on the charge.
Chipped and taken. Beth Mooney. And Australia lose their first. The captain comes out at 3 for Australia.
To get some runs on the board and to tell everyone to go away and leave me alone was nice.
So pressure on the Indians. Australia lose their second. Is this the twist? India's leading wicket taker in T20 internationals, Poonam Yadav. It's gone for 6, and that is 50. Alyssa Healy. Oh, an immediate effect, the leg spinner.
Ball is ever so slow through the air. The pitch is assisting.
Poonam Yadav is India's best player. The Australian top order are going to have to adjust themselves a little bit.
You just can't predict what's going to happen, especially T20 cricket.
As soon as I got out, she really slowed it down, bowled really slow and wide. Gets her!
It's good captaincy from Harmanpreet Kaur. That would have been the message. Take the pace off.
Poonam, she's a great bowler. She knows how to take wickets and how to create pressure.
And perhaps the biggest cheer of the evening goes to Elise Perry.
She's very skillful, Poonam Yadav. She spins it both ways, and as soon as you do that, you put a little bit of doubt into the batter's mind. The pace at which she bowls, it's very slow, and a lot of people out there will think, well, that's just the easiest thing to hit, and it's not. You've got to be so decisive with your feet, and the moment there's a little bit of hesitation, then she's in the game.
Straight away, Poonam Yadav! What a delivery! 2 from 2, she's on a hat-trick.
Absolute class. Once again, it's another wrong-un. Elise Perry on this occasion does not pick it. Can you believe it? It's a massive wicket.
We had plans and we'd spoken a lot about what we were going to do, and for some reason we didn't follow them at all. We played into her hands.
Well, she got something on it. She has. Tunamianov. What a show she's putting on. Australia in deep, deep trouble.
They're not ticking at Australia at all.
Shit, a little bit. It was a lot of really quickly, and we were so in control of that innings for a long period of time, and for someone to come in and take it away from us really quickly is really unusual for this group.
We just fell for it, hook, line and sinker.
Our bowlers are not scared of anyone.
Gone. And can India cause an upset in match number 1? Full toss, skied, in the air. Pandey coming underneath it, takes it.
I told my players, if we can beat Australia, that means we can beat any team in this format.
Gosh, to go the opening night, incredible, incredible drama.
Gone. That's the last nail in the coffin for Australia.
It's an upset of note to start off this ICC T20 World Cup.
Yeah, that's a fine performance by the ladies in blue.
We just didn't commit, and we paid a heavy price for that.
It just reinforced to us that we weren't invincible. We had to play really well to win, and teams were going to come extremely hard at us.
Our middle order and sort of our top order to an extent crumbled. We're human and we do make mistakes.
Like I said, we've lost one game of cricket. There's still a lot to play for.
I don't believe we lost self-belief, but it was a good kick up the arse.
One of the blessings of our really crazy schedule is that we don't have a lot of time to think about it and dwell on it. We'll just go out there and at the whacker against Sri Lanka and hopefully put another good performance on the board and get a win, hopefully.
I've just gone, gosh, are we putting too much pressure on all these players? And you feel quite that we're just putting way too much pressure.
The lead up to the first game against India was something I've never experienced before. We were doing so much media. It was just never ending. We didn't want to say no to anyone. I guess we sort of felt a little bit of an obligation to do that, being the hosts, and I think we might have just got that slightly wrong.
All the pressure's on Australia, effectively. It's their home World Cup.
We said we weren't under any more pressure than normal. Though I don't think there's been any extra pressure on us at all. We blatantly lied.
It's a well-balanced England team. It's the same team that played in the last match. South Africans with Dani van Niekerk, Lizelle Lee, Marizanne, Laura Wolvaardt and Sunil Lus.
It's not great for the game for one team to dominate all the time. You want to go into a tournament where it's wide open for everyone, and I think this edition of the T20 World Cup is just that, where it's wide open for any team to win this.
It wasn't just going to be an Australian show.
Magnificent catch.
Wonderful by Suga.
That's gone a long way for 6 from Van Niekerk.
There was a lot of pressure on in those last couple of overs, but generally as captain, I'm probably at my best when the pressure is on, and it makes me be really clear and commit to any decisions that I make.
literally sitting in the shower and closed my ears. I didn't want to listen or hear anything. I just wanted somebody to call me when it's done. And it took me about a good, I guess, it took me the whole second loss over to get my courage up to go sit with the team. As I walked to the team, Mignon got the 6, and I remember running past the England dugout and just shouting because I couldn't believe that, yeah, the 6 just got hit.
South Africa have beaten England for the first time in a World T20.
After that loss, it was just about reminding the girls it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Today, Australia take on Sri Lanka, who they have a perfect record against. But as we've seen in this tournament so far, anything is possible.
There was potentially going to be 5 more games at this World Cup, and we had to win all of them if we wanted to lift a trophy.
We had to play well. We couldn't put a foot wrong. If we didn't get through the group stage, that was a disaster.
The pressure is on them right away, isn't it? Because of that loss to India, they find themselves still searching for their first win.
It was a side that we felt comfortable playing. We played a lot against them, but yeah, we were under the pump, no doubt about that.
Sri Lanka have won the toss today, and they're going to have a bat first. What Australia left in Sydney is a lot of the sort of the outside white noise. They've come across to the west. Everything's just relaxed down into a more of a normal tournament routine for them.
They had one major threat, and that was Adapadu.
Really cleanly hit by Chamari Adapadu. She's brought her A game here today.
Who was a very big threat.
Well, that has been powered down the ground. Chamari Adapadu at her best.
Alyssa Healy cannot believe the strike power. It just gets better and better. As the 50 comes up for Chamari Adapadu, her form against Australia is out of this world.
But we planned quite well for her and knew that if we stuck to our guns that we'd be able to contain her.
Catchment came from Alyssa Healy. Meg Lanning, the captain, obliges. That is massive. Adapadu, having just brought up her 50, has gone.
Her very good innings has come to an end.
Reaches, stretches and finds Elise Perry, and another Sri Lankan wicket is down.
Safe pair of hands from Perry.
So there you have it. Australia need 123 runs victory here at the WACA, and I think Meg Lanning will be very happy with that.
We were comfortable with that, and the bowlers did a great job.
Alyssa Healy, she struggled coming into this tournament. We talked about maybe the pressure that they might be feeling, but 120 on the board, you'd back them to get over the line, wouldn't you, Mel?
Yeah, and she likes this ground. She has an average of 78 and a strike rate of 172 here at the WACA, so she might want to get this game done and dusted before potentially any other rain comes along.
Australia searching for their first points on the board. They need 123.
Alyssa Healy will take strike. Oh, this is going to be struggling here because Beth Mooney wanted the single, but Alyssa Healy didn't. Oh, brilliantly bowled. The late-in swinger. That is an absolute gem to remove the dangerous Alyssa Healy. Pravadani has delivered gold.
Healy departs for 0, Australia none for 1.
Ashley Gardner was not expecting to come in after 2 deliveries. If the swinging ball counts for another wicket early on here, then there'll be jitters in that Australian dugout. Bowler! It's another beauty. Pravadani's on fire. It's another nugget. Oh, this is brilliant.
Gardner goes the same way as Healy.
Meg Lanning, Australia's captain. 8 for 2. She didn't envisage this. Oh, goodness, it's on the money again, but somehow squeezes it through that inner ring. Well, Srivaddhana has accounted for Mooney.
Now up against Australia, who they have never beaten in T20 cricket. Not just in World Cups, we're talking ever. Now have 3 massive wickets. Healy, Gardner, and now Beth Mooney. They're up and about Sri Lanka. Australia, 10 for 3.
Yeah, walking off the field, I'm not the kindest person to myself at the best of times, but I just thought you're a fucking idiot because you've just gone and lost the World Cup for your team.
It briefly flashed through my mind that we could be out, 2 games in.
Yeah, there was a lot going through my mind, obviously. I normally sit down on the bench for our batting innings and sit with the players, and I decided I'd sit up with a better view at the WACA and look down the wicket, and the 3rd wicket fall, and I packed my stuff up and I headed down and just tried to sit down and hopefully just calm everyone down a little bit. I was definitely, as everyone, a bit rattled, and we were under the pump about, how's this game going to play out?
I've seriously never been more nervous watching a cricket game in my life.
Well, I was out in the middle watching a couple of those wickets happen, and that was probably the best thing for me because I felt like I could do something about the situation that we were in.
I actually felt really calm just because I could see Meg, I could see that steely determination in her face, and we just knew that we had a job to do.
Never could they have imagined being 10 for 3.
The first thing that we had to do was just take the excitement out of Sri Lanka because wickets obviously was giving them that, and if we could just stop them getting wickets for a couple of overs, we felt like we could just get it back slightly in our favour.
2 of the most experienced players out in the middle, and Rachel Haynes, the vice-captain, Meg Lanning, the captain.
When you're batting, I don't think of myself as the captain as such. Like, I'm a leader, but I'm an experienced batter who is in a position to make a difference in the game. And I just knew once I went in and we were 3 down that I had to be the one to make an impact.
Meg Lanning has played many a great innings for her country. She needs to play one now. It's got it through.
I'm tipping they've never been in a better position to beat the 4 times T20 World Champions. So yes, go for the throat.
I had to stop myself a few times for getting too frustrated about the scoring rate. But I had to sort of just calm down and make sure I stayed out there.
Well, that was tight. I think she's in, though. Meg Lanning with a super dive. And that is what pressure does.
I've got to say, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Perry again. The other night against India, she batted at 6. I'm surprised she hasn't come in at number 4. She's such a good player. She needs to get out there.
Once we were able to settle the game down a little bit, it was just about building a bit of a partnership and getting the scoreboard moving again. We kept batting the way we were until we got to the 13th over, at which point me and Rach looked at each other and we both knew what needed to happen, and Rach was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to take them on. So I decided that I was going to try and bat through to the end and that Rach was going to take the game on.
Oh, she's gone big. Has she gone long enough? Yes, she has! 50 for Rachel Haynes.
Thankfully for Australia, goes the distance. What a half century.
Partnerships are really the base of the sport, and I think it was no more evident on that day, in that moment. Those 2 just being out in the middle and running up and down the wicket, that was just a beautiful case study in how to take pressure that's on you and switch it to the other side.
And she gets her.
Pez was always next into bat when that partnership was on. But then we got to a point where we just needed a couple of quick runs, and we decided that Nick would be just as good.
When Nicola Carey went out instead of Elise Perry, I questioned it. I was swearing at the time and said, like, what are we doing? She's our most experienced player. Get her out there in this situation.
Still no Perry. Nicola Carey out in the middle, playing in her very first World Cup match. Nicola Carey.
Perry must be injured. I don't understand why she batted so low against India, and I cannot understand why she's not walking out to bat now.
Yeah, we couldn't let on why we didn't bat Pez at that stage. The shoulder injury was giving her a bit of grief. So it was almost like, well, if we don't need to batter in this situation, then we won't.
Meg Lanning still out in the middle. She'll want to see the side home.
It's an example of her class, the will to make sure she's there at the end, still finding a way to make runs.
So they've decided to go to the superstar, Elise Perry. Really lovely from Elise Perry. She'll pick up 2. Just 2 required and still 4 out on the boundary. The call is to Meg Lanning. She's quick. She's going to come back. They're pushing hard. The throw comes in and they get there.
I think we both recognise how important it was that we did it and we got the job done. And Meg's a pretty measured, pretty calm character, but even her at the end when she dove in for that run and did the fist pump, you could tell that it was a big relief.
Plenty of cheers from the Australian support. Australia have done it after a tense first 6 overs. Australia have got over the line. An important partnership with Lanning and Haynes.
Matthew might wipe that sweat off the brow.
It's almost like when we won that game, everyone just took a deep breath. You know, people talk about us dominating and just being able to blow opposition off the park, but in that moment we had to show a whole other side to us in that, yeah, we're willing to fight as well and show a bit of grit to get through and get a result that we need.
That's a sigh of relief, I take it, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Meg's game at the WACA was her 100th game. She's growing as a leader every day, but she's a great player as well. And to be able to combine the great skills on the field with inspiration for the players off the field, that's something that she's managed to do in these last couple of years.
After the game, it was a little bit of, OK, what just happened? Like, are we going to get our stuff together or what? Because at the moment, it's not going well.
Have arrived for this battle.
A thoroughly professional performance from India, making a real statement in this World T20. Look like the side to beat at the moment.
It's been a white-knuckle ride. I think there were a few moments where we thought, gosh, we're going to have to hold our nerve here.
Thailand have brought some enterprise, some spirit to this World Cup. Never Knight and her girls have been there before. What a start for Thailand. A wicked second ball. Joyful scenes. Caught it. Brilliant catch.
In England, a 7 for 2.
I'm so excited and up, you know, my heart is going up. But, you know, the big team, the experienced team, they will hit us.
First international T20 100 for the England captain. Absolutely brilliant.
I want to send the message. We can play cricket, good cricket, and we play in the World Cup. Thank you ค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
New Zealand started so well along with India. They'll be jostling for that power position. Both teams unbeaten here at Junction Oval.
Shafali Verma is that fearless young cricketer, and we all had that when we were younger. You know, it's you see ball, hit ball, you don't really think much. And as you get older, you think about the game a lot more than you actually should.
Miss hit, gone.
India are through, and Australia and New Zealand in that last group game with everything to play for.
I was certainly thinking our pool is going to be tough to get out of. So when everyone was all fixated on packing out the MCG, as a player, you're sort of standing there going, oh my gosh, we have so much to get through before that.
The first 2 games of the World Cup, the batters just had not done their job. We were playing really timid. We weren't putting pressure on the bowlers. We weren't walking out there with really good body language. We weren't working together. If we continued to play the way we had in the first 2 games, especially as a batting group, it wasn't going to end well.
I always talk about in the nets and, you know, at training, why do the bowlers have all these meetings? What about the batters? I got stuff I need to talk about too. So we called this meeting and, you know, the top 6 or 7 of us, Modi leading the charge with Meg, Rach, Pez, me, Ash and Midge, and just spoke about how we were feeling. Like I had a couple of low scores. I'd felt like I'd let the team down, and that's something that doesn't really sit well with me.
It was good for the group just to see that people were feeling nervous and people were feeling under pressure. And like, I personally didn't think I was, but I think once everyone started to talk about it a little bit more, you were kind of like, oh, maybe I am a little bit nervous and I'm not quite playing the way that I can.
We hadn't been really supporting each other along the way either, and we really wanted to make a statement about going out there and taking the game on, but also being this sort of batting fraternity that came together and showed the bowlers that, you know, we've got this too. But if I'm sitting having a batting meeting and seeing 6 of the best batters in the world sitting in front of me, I'd rather be sitting in that meeting than in another team's meeting with their batters.
It was probably just a little spark that we needed as a group to know that, yes, we were feeling nervous, yes, we're feeling under pressure, but it's normal, and we need to go back and take the game on like we have been for the last 2 or 3 years and trust that will get us the result.
Lots of chat in and around the shoulder of Ellyse Perry. She's had that shoulder strapped since she's arrived here in Canberra.
We've moved over to the east as the hosts take on Bangladesh in the nation's capital. Meg Lanning's side picked up their first victory in Perth, but need to win their remaining 2 games to have a chance of making the semi-finals.
We're just here focusing on Bangladesh tonight and hopefully coming away with a big win.
It can be hard preparing for someone you've not met, but in a lot of ways, it actually allowed us just to focus on what we were doing.
Whatever we do first here today, we do it really well. From a batting point of view, I know you guys are committed strongly to a bit more presence in this innings, okay? We need plenty of happy faces on that sideline, all right? For us, now it's about going out and expressing ourselves. We've done all the talk. It's about action today. This is where we start to turn it on. We've got a great opportunity to do it and do it well.
I'm scared.
Yeah. So did all.
It was just about trying to get our mojo back. We wanted to sort of put out a bit of a statement and give our batters a chance to right the wrongs and get us back on track.
Let's play, Gareth.
Confidence, Alyssa Healy.
Opening partnership for Australia in T20 internationals.
And with that, 189 is put on the board by Australia.
Absolute carnage in Canberra.
Yeah, it felt like the dam had busted, I think.
Great catch there by Jess Jonathan.
It was just like, this is us. We're back to how we play the game.
Barnett, straight through. Megan Shute gets it dead straight this time. disappointment for Bangladesh and their fans. 50 comes up for Bangladesh. Just hope that Elise Perry is all right there.
Oh, Lisa Healy, she's had one of these before and she's taken it. That's why she looks around and says, yes, I've got that one. It is a comprehensive win to Australia by 86 runs over a team that they've never ever played before in international cricket.
To win as comfortably as we did and play the way that we wanted to play, I think just pointed us in that right direction.
That was something special, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a bit of fun out there. It was nice to actually get us off to a good start for a change, eh? So thank God, we'll take it. Everybody really cares about this team and really want us to win and be there in that final, and I guess it's a nice feeling.
Australian all-rounder Elise Perry is in some doubt for today's must-win T20 World Cup clash with New Zealand.
How's Elise pulled up today? It's just a little thing there on her hip, so we're really confident she'll have plenty of time to get ready for a huge game against New Zealand. Is she in any doubt at all? Oh, any time you get a niggle, I suppose, there's doubt.
Okay, guys, I don't think this will be an overly long meeting, to be honest. We'll do a quick review of the Bangladesh game. From a performance point of view, I thought it was outstanding. We did hit a little bit of a rut there in the middle to late overs, and I think, if we're being overly critical, I think we just lost our shape, and that's when we got away from hitting straight. And just want to say, obviously, it's very difficult in that situation to come in when there's been such a big partnership, and full credit to Ash, who went out and stayed true to just hitting down the ground, hitting the side screen, which can be really difficult, and probably made it look a little bit easier than it actually was. Ash with 22 off 9 with huge impact at the back end. So well done. Batting performance, really good. Let's continue that. I think we've got our mojo back now, and it's important that we continue to play that way.
The spinners' notes, essentially for both Devine and Bates, we think if we're bowling tight lines and she's continuing to do that, then that brings us right into the game with some bowls or LBWs.
Elise loves to make a note of everything that happens, and I'm the total opposite. I just try and wing it and remember what happened, which is funny because I've actually got to remember what we talk about when we go out there.
Egg, you want to do the batting?
Yes. Slight shift in the batting order, so I'm going to come in at 3 regardless of what happens, pretty much due to matchups. So that's what we're going to go with this game.
It's all right, we're on time.
Meg, can you just give us an update on the health of the squad?
Yep, so I assume you're talking about Elise there. So she
She's got a sore hip. She won't train today, but we'll give her every chance to play tomorrow, but we won't be able to make a call on that until tomorrow.
She is a bit of a warhorse. I mean, is she doing extras or anything to try and get herself up?
Oh, she's the ultimate professional. She's doing everything that she can.
She's such a resilient player that she never misses games, but it definitely came down to the last hour or so going into that New Zealand game as to whether she was going to play or not.